Hi everyone. So today we are going to be talking about installing an Ecobee or Nest inside a travel trailer. And I'm just going to show you that it's working, and then I'll take you step by step on how to do it. This might get a little bit of a longer video, but I want to make sure you guys do this right. So here we have our Nest working, and we did have to use a relay for this. I really tried very hard to make this as simple as possible. I didn't want to have to use a relay. The strange thing is the Ecobee will work with DC power, which is strange. It wants 24 volts to operate, but it still worked under 12 volts or 13 volts DC. It still worked. It just wouldn't operate any of the equipment, unfortunately. So we're just going to show you the relay over here that we have set up. And this is the relay, if we can have a good shot on that. It's you might need more. Mine is just for four. It has four different channels. So we just have four here, and then this is basically all the wires coming from the thermostat, and then the relay activates this, and that will activate the 12 volt. So we're gonna go into that in a moment. But what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna show you that it's functioning properly through a series of tests. And so right now we're just gonna go to the settings or the menu, and then we're gonna go to the preferences, and we're gonna go to installation settings and test equipment. And then we're gonna hit OK. So we're going to test, for example, the fan. Okay. And then you'll hear the fan go off. And you'll see the relay doing it. And then we're going to test the heat. So all of that is working. Also, part of my setup is I did have heat stage 1 and stage 2 because if you're ever in a trailer and you're gonna want to have the option to use both the electric heat coming from ours is a Coolman, we're gonna want to have both. So stage 1 right now is the one that's operating my heat strip over here, and then stage 2 is operating the regular gas. Okay. So, and then also another thing you're gonna probably be wondering, if you haven't thought about it already, is if you are at camping and you're out and about without any power, it's probably gonna be a little frustrating, but I'm gonna have backup power, battery backup power, so that you never know when you need it, right? You want to use the microwave for a moment, you want to turn something on, just so we're gonna have backup power, maybe a 1500 watt battery backup. So that's if you're not gonna do that, if you're not gonna have any power, your thermostat will not work at all during a time where you don't have regular AC power. It will not power on. So it's very important that you understand that you're going to have to either be connected at all times. If you want to use this thermostat, you're either going to have to be connected at all times, or you're going to have backup power, like a 1500 watt backup power station or something. That's what you're going to need. Let's get in here and talk about our wiring. Okay. Luckily for me, whatever wires exist, you're going to need more. Okay. So we went to Ace Hardware and we purchased more wire, and luckily for us, we were able to pull one of the existing wires that was in here. All we did is pull it from here. I don't think many of you are going to be as lucky as I was, but all I did was tape the new wire to the one that was existing. In this case, I had to do it twice actually because I didn't realize I was going to need extra wire. It came with 5 pair, but I needed 7 altogether. So I really highly recommend that you get something. You're probably gonna have to run 2. Anyway, so I tied one end to the other end, and all I did was pull, and it came. It wasn't stapled. It wasn't secured anywhere. It just came, it was pretty easy. So let's discuss all the wiring, because there are some videos that might show you how to they'll have it done at a table, or they'll have it done somewhere, and it's very useful. But if you're not sure how to follow it along, and you don't know how to follow the schematic, and it's just difficult for you, I thought, what better way than to actually show you guys how this is done. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect my Ecobee right now, just so that you guys can see this. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have ours completely disconnected, and I'm just gonna show you guys. So this wire right here was my my regular heat pump, the furnace basically. It's connected over here, and it's basically your the way I have it right now is this needed to go to the relay. So this is why you're gonna see the wiring gets a little confusing. But that's, I'm just gonna start with this, so you guys may not need this step, but I'm gonna make sure that I explain it anyways. Okay. So you have the positive from your DC power right here. I just sent it back to the heat pump. Okay, so it has it at all times. Then you have your negative. Okay. The negative was over here connected directly to the thermostat before, but it was never going to operate because this is 24 volts. It needs the 12. So what I did was I sent the wire through through another wire here, the yellow wire, and I sent it all the way back to where my relay is. Okay, and we're going to show you guys how that is. And right now, so it's connected on the relay, this wire right now, and then also I took the other wire right here, the white that came from it, and I put it in W2, okay? And I'll show you how the setup is done over there as well. So W2 is what's gonna be activating the relay basically, and sending back the 12 volt through the yellow wire, and then back to this. And again, we'll show that. I wish I could, this is the best way that I could explain it without showing you guys a schematic or anything like that. And for some people that don't really know how to read it, they're not going to understand. So again, so all we're doing is taking the negative wire that would have normally gone in W1 or W2, and we're sending it through the yellow wire all the way to the relay. And we'll cover what happens to it. You could just remember what the wiring is, and we'll go from there. Now, next is pretty easy. This is not very difficult at all to follow. The rest of them are pretty much all color coded, right? So it's just all these wires. W1 is going to be your heat, okay? C is going to be the negative for the 24 volts, okay? And then yellow is the heat, green is the fan, and this is the positive for your 24 volts. So pretty easy. The rest of this is pretty easy, okay? Next, also over here, one thing I forgot to mention is we're gonna need, because my positive and my negative of the 12 volt is here, okay? So I needed to send both the positive and the negative to where the relay is, okay? So it's being sent right now through the blue wire here, okay? And it's being sent through the red wire here, okay? So you could see the blue and the red. So, and I'm gonna show. So right here we have, besides the standard of all of this one's pretty straightforward. This extra, cable here, this wire, the three wires that we're using for it are the negative and the positive for your DC power. And then we're also using the yellow to send back a signal, or the power over there, and then we're having it come back through the white wire coming back this way. So now we're just gonna show, again, this is the best way I could explain this. I hope this is gonna be clear to many of you. Be very careful, obviously, when you're doing all this. Make sure you're paying close attention, especially if you don't have any experience with this whatsoever. So I'm trying to dive in and be as detailed as possible so that you could replicate this for yourself and do this on your own. But again, be very careful. One thing I did forget to mention, I hope you're not following along before watching my video, but you're going to want to make sure that you disconnect the power. So basically, DC power will not be cut off unless you take off the batteries themselves. Basically, disconnect the battery. Or you have to take out the fuses. So take out one fuse at a time until you know your thermostat does not have any power, because otherwise you could blow a fuse and then that'll become more troublesome later on and it'll just make your life harder. So make sure you pull out your fuse or disconnect the battery before working so that you don't create any shorts or trip any fuses, breakers. Well, this is only going to be fuses again. Okay. The next step is going to be over here, guys. Okay. This one is also pretty standard. Okay. So what you have over here is this is the W2, which is the wire that I was showing you guys earlier. This is what's coming from the basically the extra wire that we had over there, and we're just bringing it here so that the Nest is activating relay here number 2. Yeah, relay 2. So it activates relay 2. Okay. The regular heat from here, the heat strip is going to be on 3. Okay, that's where I have it wired. The fan, I have it set to number 1. Again, you can change these around, but if you're following me along, I would recommend just doing the same exact thing that I'm doing. And if you're not going to be using the heat strip, then you don't need W2 at all. It'll just be empty. You won't be using it. Again, yellow is your air condition, and I put it on 1. And then, so you have 3, 2, 1, and then 0. Okay, so that's on 1. And then yellow is your air condition. Okay, your air condition, for me, again, if you wire exactly like I did, it'll be yellow. At the end of the day, a wire is a wire, guys. Color doesn't really matter, except when you're trying to make sure that it's following the exact thing, okay? So these are all the wires coming from the Ecobee itself, okay? They're all going here. The only one that, and then also the C wire is coming right here as well, just so that you guys are aware, okay? So the C wire is going here. Now, the R wire that's coming from the heat pump is connected over here, okay? I just want to make sure you guys see that. So this is a 24 volt transformer that I installed here. I'm not gonna recommend that you do this, especially if you haven't worked with wires. And I mean, I've done. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of low power voltage, but I was an electrician for many years and dealing with high voltage. So this is pretty easy for me to do. But what you could simply, there's a wall plug that you could just simply put in that will take care of this part for you, because you're gonna need 24 volts to go to your thermostat, to go to C. Again, this is what's going to C right now. Okay, I just want you to see that. So C is going over here. Okay, going directly to the thermostat over there. Okay, and at the same time, we have a C here as well into this terminal right here. Okay, so C again being your negative. So the negative is here on the communication, on the comm right here, and it's also the wire going to your C on the Nest device itself. Okay, just to make sure I clarify. Okay, and then so basically what ends up happening is, as soon as the R wire, because that's what the Ecobee does, as soon as you turn something on, it will send the positive here, and then the negative and the positive will activate the corresponding relay. Okay, so when I turn on the air condition, the negative from here and the positive coming from the Ecobee will activate this relay, and then this relay is connected to that right there, and I'm going to explain this area right here. But again, so hopefully this explains this part. Again, you have your negative here, your negative 24 volts. You have your yellow for the air condition, the green for the fan, W2 for the heat strip, and the white, which is just for your for the regular. I'm sorry. So W2 is for the regular heat pump, and the regular white is for the heat strip. Okay. So that's basically all there is so far to these wiring. And again, blue gets the negative blue gets put in with this one, and then the red gets put with the positive, gets put with the other end. Now, if you're going to be doing I'll just show you back over here in a moment. If you will not be doing this a transformer over here, you're probably going to have to, and we'll come back to over here for a moment. We'll show over here. So let's imagine you have, you just bought a wall transformer that plugs into a regular wall. Let's pretend your outlet is right here. You put a hole, the wire is coming over here, and you fed it over here, okay? So what you're going to do, the 24 volt, you're going to bring the C over here, okay? And you're going to put it right here because that's what it needs. But then also you're going to need another wire, just to clarify. You're going to need one more wire to take back the 24 volts because you need to have the 24 volts over there as well. So you got to make sure that that happens, okay? So for me, like I'd use my green, for example, right? I would have the negative. I'll have it here. I'll add another wire to it, and then I'll bring it over here. One wire here, and then one wire will go back to my green. Okay, that's just what would happen. Okay, and then also then you're gonna have, this is the negative, and then for the positive, you're just gonna bring it straight here. You don't need to do anything else. You just leave it here. Okay. It doesn't need to go to anything else, okay, as you see. It just, because it gets sent back through all of these anyway, okay? The only reason we need the negative over there is so that the relay knows when to kick in, okay? So that's all that's all you would do if you're not using the transformer and you're going to use the wall transformer and you're going to bring all the wiring here. Again, I hope all this is very clear. Hope this helps many of you. I was very stubborn. At the very end of this, if there is an easier way to do all of this, which I could have mentioned at the beginning, but I really wanted the Ecobee because we just use it at home. It also has Alexa built in, so I just really like having it, and I prefer to use it over anything else. But there are thermostats that you could find on Amazon or wherever. I'll probably link one in the description, where all you need to do is just swap it with your existing one, and it works off 12 volt. And you will not have to do any of this. Okay. Now, this next part, we're going to try to kind of show, okay? I just want you guys to see this, okay? So we're going to have, if you're going to, it depends on which unit. Like, I'm going to link this relay myself so you could, like, you don't want to be buying a different relay and being a little confused, okay? But this one is basically normally closed right here, okay, while the middle one is normally open. We're not going to use the closed ones at all. The closed ones are the ones on the further end here. So this one is the closed, okay, and the middle one is the open one. So each one of these open one, again, the yellow, I tried to use the same colors, is going to be your air condition. The green is going to be the fan. They go in the middle, and then this one over here, unfortunately, it's yellow, but just go along with the color. This one is, it's supposed to be the W2, basically, okay? But I just ran out of white wire or something. Anyway, so this one is the one going back over there to that end and feeding the actual thermostat, as I showed you guys earlier, this yellow one, okay? Or it's feeding the heat pump, okay? So, and then you have, again, I hope you guys follow all this. You can pause a million times if you have to, but just follow along and you should be able to do this. Okay. Again, be very careful when you're doing all this. And then lastly, the white, which is the heat strip over here. Okay. Now they're all connected over here just to show you. So again, the white wire is going here, the fan, GH is the high, GL is the low fan, and GH is the high fan. So I don't really need to use the low, so I just have it on the high. And then the yellow is your air condition. The blue, again, we talked about, is just your negative 12 volts, okay? So that's all that you guys got to do. And just to show that the negative 12 volts is also coming from right here, just to show it, this is where the negative 12 volts is coming. Okay, just to keep track of that. And that's pretty much it, everyone. I mean, that's all you need to do. Again, I think I did also, just to explain these, I did create a bridge between the first one and every single one of them, because you need, this is basically your positive 12 volts, okay? And you have to have that enable for this to work, okay? So you have the red wire coming from here, which it's getting the 12 volts from behind the thermostat over there. I have it connected right here, if you guys can see, into this terminal right here, okay? And then I have it jumping and feeding this terminal, and then feeding that terminal, and then feeding that terminal over here. And this way, what happens is once this activates, this sends the positive 12 volts to these specific wires, activating the equipment. So that's what you need. I really hope I explained this good. I apologize if it wasn't clear. Again, just watch the video a number of times and I think you'll get this. It'll be a little overwhelming at first, but I tried very hard to explain this as best as I can. I apologize if it was confusing for any of you, but again, just keep watching it a couple of times. I apologize for the longer video. This was a lot of work. To try to summarize it in like 10 minutes, is in 5 minutes. Obviously, that's impossible. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It motivates me to keep doing more videos. I hope this helps many of you out. And once again, I'm gonna, if you do not have experience doing this, please be very careful. Make sure you, whether you have experience or don't have experience, make sure you cut off your DC power by disconnecting the battery or removing the fuses. Also, turn off your breakers also, just to be on the safe side. Just turn everything off and then begin working on this. I hope this helps many of you out. And take care, everyone. Bye.